Hey guys, so I'm just about to change little Joel here into his jammies. So I thought I'd do a little video. And he's got a new outfit. I'll show you that one quickly. He's got a new little bunny rabbit friend. Keep him company. And a new hat and mitten set. And this incredibly soft little sleeper. So soft, I love it. So I'll just change his nappy. He's been wearing this little owl one from Amanda, which we love, but we'll put a disposable one on him for now. So this is a great sleeper for a silicone because it comes completely undone. He's actually got little fold down cuffs on his sleeper, but I'll put these ones on anyway. Because they're cute. And his bunny rabbit. Okay, so I'm just about to read Joel a story, and he's got his little Tom Kitten toy here. So if you don't know who this is a Beatrix Potter little character, and his name is Tom Kitten. I think that might actually be even written on his outfit here. Yeah, it is. He's very cute. And yes, he is wearing clothes. Now the reason Joel's got him is that we're going to read the Peter Rabbit bedtime tales, and there's a couple of stories in here, and one of them is the tale of Tom Kitten. So I thought I'd read that to him now. So once upon a time, there were 3 little kittens, and their names were Mittens, Tom Kitten, and Moppet. They had dear little fur coats of their own, and they tumbled about the doorstep and played in the dust. But one day, their mother, Mrs. Tabitha Twitchett, expected friends to tea. So she fetched the kittens indoors to wash and to dress them before the fine company arrived. First she scrubbed their faces, then she brushed their fur, then she combed their tails and whiskers. Tom was very naughty and he scratched. Mrs. Tabitha dressed Moppet and Mittens in clean pinafores, and then she took all sorts of elegant, uncomfortable clothes out of the chest of drawers in order to dress up her son Thomas. Tom Kitten was very fat, and he had grown. Several buttons burst off, but his mother sewed them back on again. When the 3 kittens were ready, Mrs. Tabitha unwisely turned them out into the garden to be out of the way while she made hot buttered toast. "Now keep your frocks clean, children," she said. "You must walk on your hind legs, keep away from the dirty ash pit and from Sally Henny Penny and from the pigsty and the puddle ducks." Moppet and Mittens walked down the garden path unsteadily. Presently they trod on their pinafores and fell on their noses. When they stood up there were several green smears. "Let us climb up on the rockery and sit on the garden wall," said Moppet. They turned their pinafores back to front and went up with a skip and a jump. Tom Kitten was quite unable to jump when walking upon his hind legs in trousers. He came up the rockery by degrees, breaking the ferns and shedding buttons right and left. He was all in pieces when he reached the top of the wall. Moppet and Mittens tried to pull him together, but his hat fell off and the rest of his buttons burst. While they were in difficulties, there was a pit, pat, paddle pat, and the 3 puddle ducks came along the hard high road, marching one behind the other. They stopped and stood in a row and stared up at the kittens. They had very small eyes and looked quite surprised. Then the 2 duckbirds, Rebecca and Jemima, picked up the hat and the tucker from Moppet's pinafore and put them on. Mittens laughed so hard that she fell off the wall. Moppet and Tom descended after her. The pinafores and all the rest of Tom's clothes came off on the way down. "Come, Mr. Drake Puddle Duck," said Moppet. "Come and help us dress him. Come button up Tom." Mr. Drake Puddle Duck advanced in a slow, sideways manner and picked up the various articles of clothing. And he put them on himself. They fitted him even worse than they had Tom Kitten. "It's a very fine morning," said Mr. Drake Puddle Duck. And he and Jemima and Rebecca Puddle Duck set off up the road, keeping step, pit pat paddle pat, pit pat waddle pat. Then Tabitha Twitchit came down the garden and found her kittens on the wall with no clothes on. She sent them upstairs, and I am sorry to say she told her friends that they were in bed with the measles, which was not true. Quite the contrary. They were not in bed, not in the least. Somehow, there were very extraordinary noises overhead, which disturbed the dignity of the tea party. And I think some day I shall have to make another larger book to tell you more about Tom Kitten. As for the puddle ducks, they went into a pond, and all the clothes came directly off as there were no buttons left. And Mr. Drake Puddle Duck and Jemima and Rebecca have been looking for them ever since. The end. So that's the end of the story, and I think little Joel's probably ready for bed, and little Tom too. So I will leave this video here, and I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will talk to you soon. Okay guys, good night.